This week's Martha's Collection feature is a silk dressing gown wrap style robe. I'm estimating it to be from the 1930s. I found a similar image from a pattern from 1932. There were a few items in the collection, and things were stored in different areas of the house, I guess, and some were affected by mice. And just like last week's feature, this one was as well, and boy, was it a doozy. So my goal was to take this dressing gown to make it from I don't even want to touch it so that I could make it to be clean and wearable once again. So I took it outside, put it on my clothesline, had some gloves on and a mask, even though I was outside. And I took some pinking shears, and I just decided to cut off just the damaged areas. And I'm so glad that the damaged areas were just at the bottom. There was none in the upper part of it as well, because I have an idea of how to save this. So once I brought it inside, I did a sample to check to see if it was silk. And when you do a burn sample on silk, it doesn't want to burn easily. And another way you can tell is by the smell. Kind of has a burning hair smell, and then also it turns to ash. So then that's how you can tell it's silk. So I did a sample of rayon here just to show you a comparison. You can see it really flames up. This is a rayon satin, and that smells like burning paper. So that's one way you can tell. So since it is silk, I'm going to use the Heritage Park silk and wool. And with silk, it's important to keep the temperature at 88 or below for cleaning. So I had it at about 85 Fahrenheit. I'm using a fabric sling underneath, which has been so handy for garments, especially if they're delicate when wet, which silk is, because it will allow me to kind of be able to lift it in and out easier. And I didn't do this in a garment mesh garment bay because I wanted to be able to see it better and kind of move it around better, but that would be an option as well. This sling also allows me to kind of move it up and down for a bit of a cleaning motion in the water. And you just do a brief soak, which was 10 minutes. So I did the 10-minute soak in that Heritage Park, and that was about 1 capful of that solution. And yay, there's some dirty water, so we're getting it clean. And we're going to do a cold water rinse. And so that's 1 round of rinsing. And look at the water's getting clear already. With the vinegar, this helps to, it can also help clean. It can help take out soap residue. It can also help with silk to restore its pH and soften it. So that's 1/4 cup that I put in. Again, cool water. So I'm doing another round with that, with this bit of vinegar in there. And again, doing the fabric sling. And I just did a couple minutes in that. And then have to do 1 more round to rinse to get the vinegar out. So then I'm going to do 1 more round just with clear water in clear, cool water. And I just wanted to mention, I am so glad that they didn't throw these damaged garments away. I'm so grateful. All right, now that we have that clear and rinsed, I'm going to use those fabric loops on that on the fabric sling and let it hang for a while to let all that water drip out. And to get a little more moisture out, do it in a towel and roll it up. So I'm partially going to dry it. I didn't want it to air dry completely because I wanted to finish drying it with the iron. So I'm kind of ironing it dry while it's slightly damp, which A, makes it easier to iron, and B, it does also help with kind of making the silk softer again. So my original plan, I was just going to completely cut the whole bottom off and make this into knee length. But once I saw it again on the mannequin, I just loved how that long length. So I tried to figure out a way to keep this long length. So what I came up with was to try to mimic the lace that's at the top of the bodice and put a panel down below. Long story short, I ended up making this way more difficult than it needed to be. But sometimes you're just kind of playing around and jumping in. And anyway, this is the process here. So I took that vintage lace that I had, which was beautiful, and I've had this for years. So I'm so glad I finally had a use for it. And I did a little sample previously of this tan Rit dye to see how it would match up. And the quick little sample that I did worked out well. But this first piece of lace that I did for the real thing was too dark. So I ended up having just enough of that lace to do 1 more piece And I did added a little bit more water to the dye bath and didn't leave it in the water as long. So to see if the color is okay after it was all rinsed, I pressed it dry and yay, it was so happy it was a good match. So I didn't get a lot of footage of me appliquing this lace on. I ended up having to redo and take stitching out. It took hours. But anyway, here are the befores and afters. I am so happy that I was able to salvage the length on this, to be able to keep it a full length. I know it might be a little odd with this kind of lace on the bottom, but I think it's quite pretty. The lace, however, doesn't have the bias drape that the silk satin does, but I think it is still absolutely a beautiful garment and wearable again 90 years later.